Don't think India could have asked for a better start to their Championstrophy campaign. Convincing win versus Bangladesh. I know at certain moments in the match you may have been a bit worried as an Indian fan, but if you take a look at the overall scenario, I'd have to say that it's as convincing a win as you can think of. Why is that? Well, you know, this was a tournament where we all knew that there are going to be 8 competitive teams and no game is going to be taken for granted. And that's the view that we had for an India-Bangladesh game as well. Yes, we all considered India as favourites going into this game before the start of this game. But that's exactly how the match panned out. I think most of us knew India are better than Bangladesh, but how much better? They're as better as keeping Bangladesh below a par total, and they're as good as chasing that below par total in 40, 42, 44 overs or so. And this is the thought that we may have had before the game started, and that's exactly how the game panned out. So overall, if you take a look at it, India has achieved the win exactly as most of us would have thought. Yes, there will be a few areas that you can always look back at, you can introspect and get better at as the tournament progresses. But this is the perfect, as they say in horse racing terms, the perfect lung opener for the tournament. What has this win done for India? Plenty of advantages. One, I think this win has not only given India that confidence, because remember they had come into this ICC tournament without even a practice game. So they won the first game, they've got few points on the table. Secondly, they've gotten used to the conditions. Nobody knew what the conditions are going to be like at the Dubai International Stadium. Now that they've played the game, they know pretty much how the conditions are going to be, so will come better prepared in the next encounter. What this also does is put more pressure on Pakistan. Remember, India has won against Bangladesh. Pakistan have lost their first game to New Zealand. And that game now versus India becomes do or die for the Pakistan team. That pressure won't be there for India. And second advantage, India already know the kind of conditions here that they are in Dubai at this time of the year. Pakistan will be playing their first game. So those are the advantages that the Indian team can take forward from this game. Other than that, of course, Shubman Gill getting a lot of runs always augurs well for this Indian team. What it tells you is that now you have multiple match winners. There were questions asked about Shubman Gill and his form at the start of this Bangladesh match in the press conference. And guess what? Shubman Gill comes out and gets you that 100, his 800 in ODI cricket. And then on the bowling front, you had a Mohammed Shami picking up a fifer. And this is for the very first time where I was failing to pick my man of the match. Quite often you have 2 or 3 contenders, but personally I find it easy to pick one contender based on a few reasonings I might have. But this for the very first time, I really could not pick one winner because that's how close the performance was of both these players. Let's take a look at what both these players achieved. Shami got you the early breakthroughs, and then in the second half of the match, where it looked like that Bangladesh could probably reach 260 and that could have been tricky, he comes back to take those 3 wickets. So 2 areas where he contributed, very essential. Shubman Gill, you could have been in a tricky position, you lost Rohit, Shreyas Iyer, Akshar in quick succession, but he steadied the Indian ship, ensured that there was calmness. Of course, KL Rahul gave him company. So there was merit on both sides. But if you had to really put a gun on my head and ask me to pick a winner, I may have gone with Shami, and it's not because of the cricketing reasons. As I said, both equal on that front. I may have given the edge to Shami more so because of his trajectory in international cricket. Now here's a guy who was a proven match winner, gets injured. We don't know whether he'll come back as strong as he was earlier. So this was his litmus test. He had played a few games versus England, wasn't looking at his best, but comes back here, picks up a fifer, and now you are confident. Now this is an Indian team without Jasprit Bumrah. Now you are confident that you've got the leader of your attack back. So it'll do a hell lot of a good to his confidence and for the Indian team. The only thing that really worries me from this game was the way that Virat Kohli got out. And I think this is something that whole of India should be worried about, because good form, bad form, these things keep happening with Virat. He's seen the highs, he's seen the lows, but what now you're beginning to observe is that, and this is what scares you, you have heroes. And why do we believe in our heroes? We know that no matter what situation there is, he will find an answer, and Virat was exactly that. He's gone through slumps, he would always find an answer. It's for the very first time we're seeing one of our heroes in Virat Kohli probably not have an answer. Let's go back to that England series. leg spinner, getting him out again and again. Adil Rashid, exactly what happened here. Test matches, ball outside off stump, seamer can get him out. They kept doing it. That's exactly how he kept getting out. So what it is telling you now is that your hero, who you thought had answers to every problem, now doesn't seem to have an answer, and that is a worrying sign if you are an Indian fan. I was watching this game and he was looking good. Murmurs started in the press box that maybe another good knock coming Virat Kohli's way. What a start it will be for him in this tournament. And then as soon as you had Rishad come in, the leg spinner from Bangladesh, murmurs started. Oops, you got to be careful. You never know. Leg spinners have troubled him. And then one ball, ooh, he gets beaten. Oh, could that have taken his edge? Those were the conversations. Sure enough, then comes that ball, goes on the back foot, cuts it, caught it point, end of his knock. So if you actually see the trends, this is the worrying bit for Virat Kohli. I just hope, fingers crossed, that maybe he can prove all of us wrong, get some runs in the next game. Next up is going to be Pakistan, a team that he loves. So perfect occasion for him to get back into form. But if that wasn't to be the case, I'm beginning to get worried. KL Rahul, again a utility knock by him. You could falter him for that missed stumping, but that's what you get with a makeshift wicket keeper. But he also got that fantastic catch, Tanzid in the start, because he was looking dangerous, could have got a big total, took that catch, also referred it to the third umpire. So his wicket keeping may have come under scrutiny, but got you those crucial 41 not out, which are very essential to this game. I still maintain the fact that going forward he has to bat higher. The Akshar experiment once in a while is okay, but I don't think you can continue with it for very long. So that's the thing that Indian team needs to be sure of. Even someone like a Hardikpandya going so low down the order needs to come up. So that's the other bit of a worrying problem. If you're going to be nitpicking, and I think overall India's bowling performance was great, but middle overs you failed to get any wickets. There was that 150 plus run partnership. Could India have done something differently? Maybe Kuldeep Yadav, his magic. I know there was a drop chance as far as the catches are concerned. In fact, 2 drop catches. Things could have been different, but that's one area maybe India can focus on going forward into this tournament. So that's how the game has panned out. The only other thing that I'm worried about, and it's not so much from the Indian team's point of view, it's just general, is that the pitch has left a lot to be desired. I know that Dubai is not a high scoring ground. Looking at some stats, 58 odd one days have been played and only 4 of them have had scores of in excess of 300. That tells you what a difficult pitch it is. But I still thought 280 sort of a pitch it could be, but doesn't seem to be like that. I mean, from what I saw, dare I say 260 could be a match winning total on a pitch like that. So whenever the pitch is really bad, it the gap between teams reduce. And I'm talking in context of India's next encounter, that is versus Pakistan. If you on paper you ask me India Pakistan, I'd say no match. India a far better team. But so far as you have truer pitches, good high scoring pitches, the advantage between India and Pakistan becomes a lot. The worse the pitches, the margin gets reduced. Don't get me wrong, India will still start on as clear favourites, looking at various other factors. But poor pitches just bring that margin close. You never know, 1 or 2 collapses here and there, and the match turns out to be a different story. But that's a discussion for another day. We still have time to discuss that. For that, you need to subscribe to Sports Today. Give us a like on our content if you're enjoying our coverage from Dubai. For the moment, this is Nikhil Naz with his match report of India versus Bangladesh. Signing off for now. Keep watching Sports Today. Bye-bye.